Hi, Coach.
How you doing?
I wanted to hear your evaluation on some of the new guys like Cameron and everyone that's coming in from the year.
Yeah, Cameron Scatterbo, loved his film. I love the yards after contact and his balance. Every time he was hit, he was always going forward. I like the ruggedness and the toughness that he plays the football game, and that's what intrigued me about him. DeCarlos Brooks, I like his smoothness. I like the way he attacks the line of scrimmage. His hands out of the backfield. But most importantly, their mentality, their tough mentality of running the football. They're both huge competitors. They understand that Tevin White is the guy in that room that they're going to have to go and chase. And Tevin's going to have to understand that competition is right behind him. And so I think it's a good room from a competition standpoint. And everyone is different in their style of running the football. But I feel that each one brings its own unique style.
When you're in a running back room with two new guys and a guy that's already been here in Tevin, is there a way that you almost balance Tevin's competitiveness to be the starter with also telling him, hey, like, we got to get these guys acclimated to what we're trying to do?
Absolutely. You build that chemistry within the room. And the reason being, you're going to have 3 to 4 running backs. I told him the 100% thing that will happen, I can't promise you're going to start. Somebody's going to get hurt. And so how do we make sure that we support this group, get better together, and then compete not only in the classroom but on the field day in and day out, and still have that companionship in that room. And it has always worked out because they've always played together, and it has to come from me.
And you just mentioned competitiveness within academics. How do you guys push that to your team just on the daily, especially with new guys coming in there?
I think Skip and that group in the academics do an incredible job. But for our standard, when I don't say expectation, our standard is a 3.0 or higher. To me, it's 3.2 in my mind, and I let them know that would be where we want to be. But they have to compete in the classroom, and so I have zero tolerance with running backs that are not doing their work in the classroom academically, because that is the most important thing when you talk about student athletes. And they have to understand where I come from as an educator. The student athlete is an important piece.
With Jaden coming in and kind of bringing some national attention to this class, how do you think it's going to change things for future?
I think it's a momentum. Especially with this NIL world that's out there, I think it's a momentum that you can get a guy in here that's a 4 or 5 star guy. He chose this place because he wanted to be a Sun Devil, and that, I think, opens the door for other bigger time players. The environment that we're in, the weather that we're in, everything that Arizona State provides is a huge opportunity for us to make sure that we are at the top echelon of college football.
When you're talking about Jaden, I don't think we've seen his full potential as a runner yet in that quarterback position. Mm-hmm. I don't know how much film study you've done on him. How do you feel that you can implement him into your running game in the same way that we've had Jaden or Emery kind of do that read option?
Whenever you have a dual threat quarterback that puts pressure on the back end of defenses, and they have to account for that person. And so it always brings a different style of defense because you're accounting for that quarterback. And so I haven't gone in depth in reality watching his film, but I know it is another advantage for our offense to have that dual threat quarterback and using his ability to run.
How are you guys approaching NIL when it comes to these transfers and recruits coming in?
I stay away. We have to sell the school. Whatever NIL goes, it goes. I don't think the relationship part is any different. So from my room, I build that relationships. Whatever NIL comes about on their part or whatever it is, it's separate from what I do trying from a recruiting standpoint.
And going through what you went through this last season, just kind of a whirlwind experience as a head coach, running backs coach. Did that help you at all in this offseason to just kind of know what you're supposed to be communicating to these kids?
Absolutely. Speaking the same language as a head coach, because you expect the assistant coaches to speak the same language, to have the same vision, go through the same mission as what you're trying to speak. And so being a head coach, I think you're a better assistant coach because all the things that you would want as your assistant coach, now you can do. And so that's where I think I can help Coach Dillingham. Awesome. Really appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you. How you doing?
How you doing?
Good to see you.
Real quick, with just all the new teams, all the new coaches coming on, new players, spring ball coming up, what excites you the most about all that?
You know, the new energy that Coach Dillingham brings, a new offense, a new defense, the familiarity with the coaches that we have because I know them everyone. And so the excitement of working with guys that we've talked about 10 years before we're going to work together. And so it just brings a new light, a new energy that Coach Dillingham is bringing.